Welcome again to my channel. This is Rubén. Here I am recording this. It appears a message. I don't know. So basically, I need to stop or quit saying basically all the time. I've heard a word in essence, in substance, and there is many other words to replace the word basically. Guys, so first of all, um, I assume I already select a topic, so I have not exactly a clear idea about what topic I'm gonna be talking right now, but I hope you can understand what is my methodology when I'm making videos, and it's basically talk just what the ideas that came up in my mind. So it's just that I have one thing that I want to talk about because actually today I realized a a fact, like, I am giving classes to a certain students, like kids from 10, from 11, 12 years old, and basically basically so there is one thing that I've been doing in is teaching, like teaching grammar. And it turns out that like like they okay, first, it is a good idea just giving the kid the opportunity to learn a language. So in my methodology is just going to the house of the kid and give the class and try to strengthen his English skills. So one of the things that I do is like teaching them in a way that they don't feel pressure, that they don't feel like they are studying English, because we as a learners, as a natural learners, or let's say as a non, learning is not something that is inside us. If you see it in a certain way, it's something that we don't want to do it so much. Although humanity is born with that necessity of learning things, but enjoying at the same time. So, but when we learn things without having that huge interest on it, the things are gonna be super hard, super difficult. Like, and I realized, like, when I start to giving a class, a personalized class, there is a certain amount of days when the students is pretty focused on receiving the class, putting attention and stuff like that. But then after a couple of days, the students begin to, okay, like, I was playing, I was watching TV, like, it is something complicated in a certain way, because a student needs to be pretty encouraged to work, pretty encouraged to study. Today, actually, I did a class with a couple of students. I want to take this as an opportunity to say thank you to my friend Tencel. Their Tencel is one of those native English speakers that have helped me a lot, and like talking with them, like getting to them, like the exposure to speak with a native, and that is something I really appreciate, because when I started learning English, that almost wasn't possible, like in your on your beginning stages, like interact with a native. That is a huge opportunity they have, and fortunately they can just get interest a little bit in. That is something I appreciate, bro. Tencel, thank you so much. Those days I've been ruminating about speaking English, because I have like 3 months with them, like teaching them the basic grammar, all the uses of the do, does, didn't, have you haven't, and stuff like that. And a common student can learn those things like in 4 months, no matter the age they have. As soon as I realized that, so a student can learn that in that time, like they can have a bit of a knowledge, like all the grammar, but then there is another step, like is incorporating that knowledge in a conversational level. That's gonna take a long time. The thing is that I really recommend is just having a specific time to speak in English. So I did it today, and I actually was okay. You have to deal a little bit with the interest, because you have to have a certain pedagogy to teach, like to being able to to say what you want in English, and they can understand, like can the grasp of it. And I'm applying what I did on my last video, like ways of approaching it in language. So I recommend you to watch this video after the minute 6 or something, when I speak about Stephen Krashen methods. And it is basically, if you listen to the language in a comprehensible way, you're gonna learn a lot. So and now I'm taking into consideration that I already give them a like a certain amount of grammar, amount of words that they can actually now understand a little bit, and I just talk to them in English. So and it was super interesting, like a good I almost created a good communication. They were talking in Spanish and I was talking to them in English, and they actually felt comfortable. And I create like, okay, what do you have to say, or what do you think about school? Tell me, like they perhaps just understand school. Tell me what do you have to say about school, like talking to them in that way. And they answer in Spanish, and then I say I had those two students in that class, and I talking to them. Okay, what do you think about what he said? And like interesting, and like formulating different topics. And was great first because I was able to practice my English for like an hour, and they were exposed to speak English. So, just to wrap this up right now, is just try to always, if you have a personal teacher, or if you have the chance to count with someone who speak English well, or even in a higher level than you, just take that as advantage. Try to use the language. Try to use, like, get used to listen, no matter if you don't understand all the words, but it is okay if you understand just a few of that. It's super super okay. And I'm gonna be applying this on my next teaching classes that I am. And yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Talk to you later. Take care.